Coming up this morning, officials are handing out water amid a shortage in Perry County. And university officials warn people to be more vigilant on campus after a sexual assault at EKU. And the Martin County Sheriff has to lay off one employee and cut back office hours amid financial problems.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:01 on Tuesday, February 5th. Thanks for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Will Puckett. Brandon is tracking some rain on your radar this morning, and that's going to span the next couple of days, so get ready for a dreary forecast, but at least we get bubbly Brandon to bring it to us. And Brandon, temperatures are going to be nice until the end of this week, where it's that drop-off that we see often.
Exactly. All going to come crashing down on Friday and Thursday night going into Friday, so enjoy it while it lasts. Rain chances, not too bad so far this morning. We'll take a look at the last 6 hours on the loop here, and you can see a fairly quiet start to the day. Again, just a few showers, especially in those eastern counties this morning, going into parts of southwest Virginia and southern West Virginia. We're looking at temperatures anywhere from 50 to 58. That's the range this morning across the area, but everyone is in the 50s. The warmest spot in the entire this part of the state is Louisville at 59. Out the door forecast, unfortunately, a dreary type day. Could we see a few breaks in the clouds? Possibly, but I do think they'll be around for most of the day as we see scattered chances for showers around, but 65 for a daytime high in early February. I don't think we can beat that. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
Thank you, Brandon. No complaining allowed for sure. Well, city officials in Hazard issued a water supply emergency Friday because of a number of water line breaks in places like Hazard, Leatherwood, and Big Creek. Because many in the Leatherwood community are still without water as a result, water is being given away at the Cornettsville Fire Department to anyone affected. Officials say if water levels continue replenishing and no new breaks happen, water could be back on by Tuesday evening. Worst case scenario, if more breaks happen, it could be the end of the week. People picking up water just hope the outage is not like what it was last year.
You don't have bath water and you don't have water to cook with, but we're appreciative of people doing this where we can have water.
Cases of water will be handed out to anyone in need at the Cornettsville Fire Department every day the water is out. They are open from 4 to 8 each afternoon, except Tuesday. They will be open from 5 to 9 in the evening. Well, that water shortage meant there was no running water at Leatherwood Elementary yesterday, but school was still in session. WYMT's Macy Marie stopped by to check out what teachers used instead of water for fountains, sinks, and bathrooms.
Going without does not keep these students at home.
It's important that we do focus on instruction.
Monday, there was no running water at Leatherwood Elementary, but instead of canceling classes, educators found solutions.
It's very hands-on in dealing with issues like this.
When it comes to not having water, well, teachers, they have an answer. Hand washing stations are set up throughout the building, so whenever a student needs, they are able, with the help of a teacher, to wash their hands. And when it comes to cooking, Perry County school officials brought in their mobile kitchen and a few extra people to help out.
It's really no longer than usual. We start about 10:45. We're usually done around 12:15.
Teachers say after missing several days recently due to snow, they want kids in the classroom when the weather is nice and they can get to school safely.
Being in school is critical. We really need to be here. The students need to be here.
And for many students,
they actually enjoy getting to, try something new, something cool. I think every student in the buildings wash their hands at least 10 times. They like the new systems.
Well, those little ones not minding the situation for now. In Perry County, Macy Marie, WYMT Mountain News.
Principal Duke says there have been no major issues at the school because of the outage, but teachers do hope they have running water soon. Well, EKU officials are urging students and staff to be more vigilant after a sexual assault was reported over the weekend. Police say it happened Sunday afternoon behind the Baptist Health Medical Center in a wooded area. The victim described the suspect as a white man between 40 to 45 years old, weighing to 240 to 275 pounds. Officers are still looking for a suspect. Well, Well, a Pike County man is accused of setting his own home on fire. Investigators arrested John David Adkins Sunday. A state trooper says Adkins and his live-in girlfriend got into an argument. During that confrontation, police say he hit the woman and then set the home on fire with himself and his girlfriend still inside. Adkins is charged with arson and wanton endangerment. Well, last year, the Martin County Sheriff's Department faced cut after cut as the sheriff tried to trim back the budget. Yesterday, he was forced to lay off yet another employee and cut office hours in half. Now, the community is worried where there could be a spike in crime rates. Sheriff John Kirk says the decisions are not easy to make, but he is doing what's necessary.
You know, it takes money to run a sheriff's office. You have to have manpower. Manpower costs money, and we don't have any money.
Sunday, members of the Zion United Baptist Church in Martin County took up $500 to donate. Sheriff Kirk says Kentucky State Police will now need to take over the majority of their calls. Well, prosecutors in Claremont County, Ohio, say the man accused of killing a detective over the weekend faked his own suicide and ambushed officers. 23-year-old Wade Wynn appeared in court on Monday. He is accused of fatally shooting Detective Bill Brewer and wounding Lieutenant Nick DeRose when the two entered Wynn's apartment on Saturday to try and help him. DeRose has since been released from the hospital and was in the courtroom Monday morning. Wynn is charged with aggravated murder and attempted aggravated murder. His bond was set at $10 million. Well, a funeral was held in San Antonio on Monday for a 5-year-old K-9 deputy, Chucky, who was shot and killed in the line of duty on January 25th while trying to subdue a suspect. Police say the suspect opened fire on the dog during a confrontation. Police said the dog was not wearing a bulletproof vest or any protective gear because of how quickly everything went down. His ashes will be kept by the family of Deputy Kevin Rasmussen, his former handler. Well, 2 county officials who grew up in Perry County are trying to make sure even the most forgotten people here feel a sense of love from the community. The assistant Perry County attorney and a detective from the Perry County Sheriff's Office are driving around the area, dropping off donated items to homeless people they find along the way. Our area saw dangerously cold temperatures last week. This week, people living without homes are having to deal with the rain.
Nobody deserves to starve to death. Nobody deserves to freeze to death. You know, everybody needs some just basic kindness thrown their way.
Detective Paul Campbell says anyone in need can come to the sheriff's office in the old courthouse and pick up donated gear. He says he will personally deliver the gear to anyone who cannot make it to the sheriff's office. Just go ahead and contact him through Facebook. Well, an Indiana school superintendent under fire for using her insurance to get medical treatment for a student has resigned from her post. Casey Smitherman reportedly admitted to police that she took a 15-year-old boy to an urgent care clinic last month after the teen complained of not feeling well. Police say Smitherman used her own son's name to get the child medical treatment. She also told police she bought clothes for the boy and helped clean his house. Smitherman is charged with insurance fraud, identity deception, and misconduct. Well, if you ever wanted the inside scoop on Survivor and its $1 million winner, now's your chance. Nick Wilson is our special guest on Issues and Answers. We covered everything from his upbringing in Eastern Kentucky to the show itself. We also learned about his future and if he would do another reality show or get involved in politics. Wilson is a Whitley County native. We learned he won Survivor David versus Goliath in December. Our first in-depth sit-down interview with him aired last night, but you can find the whole thing on WYMT.com. Well, 3 Canadian Pacific Railway crew members died after a freight train derailed in southeastern British Columbia early Monday morning. Up to 40 grain cars jumped the tracks. The train fell from a bridge and landed in a river. The railway says there were no dangerous or hazardous materials involved. There is no word yet on what caused the derailment. Canada's Transportation Safety Board is investigating.
Well, the forecast, a quick check of it anyway for the time frame here, about 6:10. We're going to continue to see, again, some spotty showers across parts of the region. Let's take a look at the camera network outside WYMT this morning. You can see not a whole lot of action here, maybe just a little bit of fog as we head through first part of your day. Looking at those scattered showers there across the region, mainly in those eastern counties heading out this morning. So again, some wet roads. Be careful of that. Make sure you take the rain gear because you may need it at times today. Very mild start to the day. Temperatures in the 50s everywhere, close to 60 in Prestonsburg and Pikeville this morning, down toward Williamsburg as well. So I think you can leave those jackets behind. Cold front coming, but a warm front's right on its heels. You can see back out toward Owensboro a little cooler this morning. Out the door forecast, we will continue to see, though, warmer temperatures as our spring preview continues through about late parts of the week. Will?
All righty, Brendan, thank you. Well, thanks for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, Australia celebrates the Lunar New Year, and the Year of the Pig was an iconic display. And in Japan, the Sapporo Snow Festival is expected to draw some 2 million visitors.